No days off. Yes, everybody. It's another One Leeds video. We are back. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. It is signing watch, isn't it? We're at that point of the transfer window where Leeds United are hopefully going to get some signings underway. Are we going to be able to confirm any tonight? That would be absolutely lovely. And I just wanted to give a little bit of a live stream. I've been live streaming a hell of a lot, and I wanted to do another live stream this evening just before the Sheffield Wednesday game. We'll be doing something tomorrow. We always do. We've got a watch along tomorrow. We've got your instant match reaction. We've got the 3 things on Saturday as well. By goodness, it is flying through. We've also done a why Largi Ramazani will be the perfect signing for Leeds United. If you enjoy the journalistic approach, if you like the written things in life, that is available on Patreon right now, everybody. And we're getting something cooking over there very shortly as well. Listen, that's what I'm doing, everybody. I'm trying to get value for your guys' money as well for a very reasonable fee, which all goes to running the One Leeds fan channel, which can be rather expensive. So thank you so much for tuning in as always. We're in the green when it comes to numbers, which is amazing. You guys have provided over 800,000 views in 28 days. So as I mentioned the other day, thank you so much for your incredible support. And we're going to be here till deadline day. And obviously after that, you get your crooks with One Leeds, of course. But we're here to discuss everything going on with the club. Make sure you slap a like on the video as well, everybody. We're speaking today about Roland Sallai. We're going to be speaking today, obviously, about Largi Ramazani, and we're going to be speaking today as well, finally, about Sheffield Wednesday on the eve of a massive game for Daniel Farke. And obviously, we'll be touching on Wilfred of Nontosshire as well, who there's been a few rumours about him today, and we're going to touch on exactly what they are, why they are transpiring right now, and if we actually believe them. And if you haven't, everybody, already the view with Brown, the video this morning with Brownie has hit 11,000 views. So thank you so much. You can go back and watch that now on the replay after this video, of course. And I want to get your thoughts this afternoon, this evening, whatever time zone we're on right now. I know a lot of you are on variant time zones right now. So get your comments in the section below, and I'll be reading them out as well. David said, hardest working guy on the internet. Yeah, maybe that's me being daft. Okay, so, but guys, as well, I wanted to just address something as well. Mike says, so if you're not aware, everybody, I just made a video on Mano Solomon, and no political views of mine whatsoever. I'm just going to address this very much at the start of the video as well, because I think, unfortunately, people have got the wrong idea of what that video was put up for. Now, Leeds United is a fan base that, when together, it is a very, very united fan base. I made a video about an hour ago, and I just put it out there, and it was essentially just discussing how I wanted this fan base to be united going into the season. Manor Solomon, unfortunately, with whatever your political leanings are, I don't have any towards this situation whatsoever. As I say, I separate politics and football. But I just want my fan base to be united. That was the topic of the video. Us all being united. And I'm not going to get into the specifics of Manor Solomon, because people just seem to find their own agendas with these things. And they love to hate when it comes to these things. My whole point of that video and the whole thing around it was literally just to us be united. And if a player such as that individual was brought in, there is going to be division within the fan base. I'm giving no opinion on that whatsoever. I just want Leeds United to be united. That is it. There is no subtext. Connor wants this. Connor believes that. He hates this. He hates that. Nothing like that. My whole point with that entire video, which I've now taken now because I don't want to offend people, and people are being offended by it, which they really shouldn't be. I promise you that was not my leading whatsoever. It was literally for us all to be united as a fan base. I want us all to go in this season, not arguing with each other, all being on the same side. Football opinions, of course, can be. We can disagree, we can agree, but as a unity, as a community, a community, as a family, I want us to all go in with the exact, with just love for each other. That was it, and that was the point of the video. So I'm not going to touch on it anymore. It wasn't offensive. Didn't say anything out there whatsoever. I said that at the start of the video. I then sort of reiterated that point at the end of the video, and it wasn't taken that way, and that really upset me. So I took that down, because that's what the point of the video was. So maybe I said it, I discussed it in the wrong way, and for that I apologize. But listen, nothing was said from a political leading. It was all just, I want us to be united as a fan base, and I don't want anything to disrupt that. That's why. And also, I mentioned in the video for 5 minutes of an 8-minute video how much I think another signing, of which we're going to speak about in this video, was a better signing. So I hope that clears it up. I don't want to speak about it anymore. And look, I thought I should address that as well at the start of the video, but it was all from very, very good intentions. Nothing, no political chat or leadings with it whatsoever. Just all, as a fan base, has all been united, and that's what I love about my community. Everybody is very healthy. It's not a toxic fan base or anything like that on my discussions and stuff like that. So I just want to leave that there. Let's talk about football anyway. Roland Sallai has been linked with Leeds United today. Now, what do we know about Roland Sallai? Let's all get giddy again. 6 foot tall, attacking midfield, can play on the left, can play on the right. I mentioned on my previous video that it reminds me a lot of Mr. Fede Valverde. Now, that is a comparison which is very high, but I love the powerful, dynamic nature of Sallai, and this will be a really, really top signing. Now, he's a Hungarian international. And interestingly, right now, Freiburg look to be bringing a player in. I believe he's called Reese. And Reese will only be brought in if Freiburg can get rid of players. Now, Connor, why would they get rid of Sallai? Why on earth would they get rid of Sallai if he's so good? Well, I'll tell you why, because he's got 12 months left on his deal and he doesn't look like he's willing to sign another deal. Now, Freiburg, obviously very decent club in Germany as well. And Sallai is one of these players that the profile has got a lot of people who are in the German side of the game as well, the Hungarian side of the game, just the English side of the game, very excited about what he could bring to this Leeds United side. He can operate, as I've said, on the right, can operate on the left and centrally, which is key. What have I mentioned about the profile of player that Leeds United needs to go for? He needs to be versatile, across that front line, because as we've seen with Ramazani, there could be a position right now where Leeds United, unfortunately, Joseph is injured, and then we have to do something when it comes to the forward player. You wouldn't ideally want Ramazani in there, but at some point, could you put a 6 foot Sallai in there almost as a false 9? You definitely could. He's definitely got all the attributes to fit that. Now, what else do I like about Roland Sallai? And what I'll do is, everybody, I'm going to flash an image up of him, just so you've got a bit of a picture of him and his transfer marks and all this sort of stuff. Roland Sallai is someone who absolutely loves taking players on, and a 1v1 direct approach is something that I think it always works well in the Championship anyway, as we saw last season with the likes of Jorginho Rudd, who love that 1v1 battle centrally, and that vertical build-up will help someone like Roland Sallai. But also, if he's to be deployed out wide, it's very sort of Crescencio Somerville. Get the ball and direct, and that's what Leeds United is all about. Fast, explosive football. There is a Leeds United way. I fully believe that, and that goes all the way back to the 70s. But yeah, and I'm a massive, massive fan of Roland Sallai. You do a little bit of a sort of YouTube search, and that's what we have to do nowadays, isn't it? When it comes to players who we're not familiar with. But yeah, Roland Sallai is someone who is of pedigree. As I've said, he plays for his national side as well. A few things that I would say that he needs to improve on is maybe his physicality, and that probably goes in line with his youthfulness, and maybe in certain areas he's off balance a little bit when it comes to those shoulder barges. And yeah, in the Bundesliga, it is physical, obviously, and it is physical in the Championship, but that's maybe one side of his game that he needs to develop on. But he is 6 foot tall. It's very dynamic as well. But aside from that, like I'm a massive fan of him. And let's get a bit of a picture up of him now, because I know you guys might be not aware of him. Let me just get Mr. Roland up here. The only Roland I know is Roland Rat as well, which is not a good sort of like a little name share there, but there we go. Here we go. So as I say, these are his positions on the pitch, everybody. So can play in a front three there. Obviously Hungarian, as we've just mentioned here, but plays for Freiburg as well. This is sort of what we know of him right now. But he's played in the Bundesliga 136 times, 20 goals, 19 assists, and yeah, very, very, very very highly rated, and would be a really good acquisition down in the Championship for me. Let's have a look what people are talking about. Evening, Connor. I would love it if we got Sallai. Georgie was immense in the 10, but it would be great if we can finally get a central midfielder as well. Real Madrid, Valverde, just how he runs, mate, how he moves. It's not. I'm not exactly saying that he is Valverde. I'd rather have the right signings that take time than knee-jerk reaction players that aren't up to wearing the shirt. 100%. Mark has been pictured by his brother on Instagram in Leeds training gear. 100%, mate. Yeah. So yeah, it looks like that's when it comes to Ramazani as well. All you did was state that. Oh, sorry, we're back on this now, mate. I didn't look. It's I don't want to go into this political stuff. I think that people are just loving to be offended at nothing. Not that I've not said anything. I just literally want us to be together as a fan base, but it is what it is. Smash a like, Connor. Yeah, really appreciate that, mate. Really appreciate that. So yeah, listen, I'm really happy with Roland Sallai. If that one gets done. No real other names that we can talk about, but we've spoken about Ramazani in this little stream as well, and the medical that's coming up with regards to him. This will be a really good addition for Sheffield Wednesday. The explosiveness off either wing for someone like him, dropping deep, picking that ball up, driving through the heart of the opposition. Listen, it's a fantastic acquisition, a really, really good one. If Largy gets signed, sealed, and delivered, as previously mentioned, someone just said there that his brother has pictured him and doing his medical for Leeds United. So you're hoping it's not going to fall through. Please, Leeds, don't do this again. Let's not have another Dan James saga here. But with me and Brown, we were talking about it this morning, and the level of which Leeds have done well when it comes to that signing. Now, what do we need? We need that caliber signing. We need that caliber signing 3 or 4 times off the bat. We all know that needs to happen. That needs to be replicated. And as we know with Sallai, that would be a really nice addition there as well. So yeah, the profile of him is very decent. So I actually didn't believe he was 27 there. I thought he was a little bit younger than that. So that gives us a little bit more beneficiaries when it comes to him there, doesn't it? As opposed to a 24, 25-year-old player, of which I thought he was. He's 27. So yeah, that physical side of his game can't be put down to his youth now and his exuberance. It's maybe just a little bit of his game that needs to be built upon, of course. But yeah, massive fan of him. But when it comes back to Ramazani, if we're switching blades again, coming back to him, if he's available, everyone for Sheffield Wednesday, it's going to be a massive boost. This Leeds United side, that added bit of quality and just someone fresh coming in. Someone fresh is giving the fan base a lift. It's giving everyone inside Leeds United a lift as well. And yeah, really excited by that one. Really excited by that. And it looks like the medical's going to be completed and hopefully will become a Leeds United player tonight. Now, the registration is the key thing that I know we want to speak about as Leeds fans. The registration, if it was done by 12 o'clock, I believe he would have been able to play. Now, could he have been registered by 12 o'clock? It looked like he was having his medical in the morning. He was flying over in the morning anyway. So could he be a Leeds United player by tomorrow night? Playing against Sheffield Wednesday, it'd be a big boost for everybody. But moving on to Wednesday as well, what do we know, everyone? Well, we know it's a must-win, I think. And it's not at a critical point in the season where we're looking at it and going, Connor, it's not really a must-win, fella, is it? Come on, is it a must-win? I think everyone's right. I don't think you can say that to an extent, but it feels like with 2 wins in 13 right now, Leeds not only need the boost when it comes to signings, and Ramazani isn't enough for that. He's not enough for that. We need more. I want more, and we do need more. But I think what we're well aware of as well is Daniel Farke needs to go there and win. Now, me and Brownie were having a bit of discourse and a bit of dispute and debate this morning. And he maybe thinks a little bit more of it is down to the 49ers. And that's where we'd probably disagree. And that's what we try to do on the One Leeds fan channel. We'll disagree all the time. I disagree with KG. Gabe, Oscar, Brownie, and Joe Wainman. We do this a lot, on the channel. And that's what's fantastic. Sometimes I've even disagreed with what Nancy said on here, believe it or not, who will be returning next Friday after a little bit of time off. But yeah, I'm a massive fan. I'm a huge fan of Ramazani. But as I've just said, I think the dispute between me and Brownie just sort of teetered on the fact that he was suggesting that it's a little bit more down to the 49ers and the impact it can have on the changing room. I completely agreed. I won't go too much into the conversation that we had earlier on, but ultimately it's 11 versus 11 on the night, and the 12th, 13th, 14th that Leeds United have in their disposal should be enough to beat a Sheffield Wednesday side. I'll tell you what, let's get up that Sheffield Wednesday side that lost to Sunderland. Let's have a quick look. So yeah, get your thoughts in, everybody, as well. Sunderland for Sheffield Wednesday. And let's have a quick look at that lineup and what we're going to be expecting tomorrow when it comes to it as well. Okay, so share that screen again. Okay, so this is kind of what we're looking at, everybody. So, I mean, I don't think one of theirs fits into our squad at all when it comes to quality. Obviously, Max Lowe there, formerly of Derby, Bernard Aorfa, formerly of Wolves, and a few other clubs, I believe. Valerie, obviously, formerly of Southampton, I should say. Beadlin there, who's done okay. Barry Bannon in the middle. You know, we should be able to close him off pretty fine. Masaba is all right for this level. Josh Windass and Jamal Lowe, but I feel like a real very decent caliber Sunderland side. I mean, you look at that Tri-Hume, you guys know I'm a big fan of. 09, not great. Patterson, very decent keeper. Churkin, very nice. Joe Bellingham, Dan Neil, really good partnership in the midfield there. Roberts, Chris Rigg, obviously 16 years of age. Jack Clark, not massively sure who Mayenda is, but he did well at the weekend, of course. But it's a good Sunderland team. And the whole point there is that Sunderland team's not as good as ours. So we've got more than enough. We've got more than enough to go there and win. And I'm predicting a Leeds United win. And I want to get your thoughts in the comment section below, everybody. There's 2,000 of you in the building as well across all platforms right now. Please make sure you slap a like on the video. We must win. Burnley flogged them. We need to show up. Michael said Nonto is off to Newcastle. I'm not 100% sure that's true, mate. But yeah, I mean, I don't know where that's come from. Are you a Newcastle fan? 49 is to blame mostly. However, Farker has a good enough squad. I'd agree with that. Daryl says for morale, they need to win. Confidence must have been so high after pre-season. Let's have a look. Any news on Cabal, mate? Nothing yet, buddy. Nothing yet. With Cabal, I think it's one of those where we're very, very aware that Burnley are after him. Obviously, this is Cabal who plays for, or Cabal, I've been told how to pronounce it. He is a player in the front line who plays for Paris FC, who is highly, highly rated. Burnley are apparently after him as well as Leeds United. Once again, another good sign. And it feels like what we're doing right now, everybody, is we're looking to the continent, which I think value for money wise is really, really decent. But I don't know about you, but I think that there needs to be a big signing, a real big signing that still needs to happen for Leeds United. I'm not 100% sure. I like Ramazani, I really do, but I'm not 100% sure that's something I would suggest is the sort of pin-up signing that Leeds United need for this window. However, I would say when it comes to Somerville, as Luwanza has said last night, the Twitter account that I massively respect, you're not going to get a player who's as close as Somerville. Really, aside from maybe a Jack Clark, I'm not 100% sure. Nonto making moves to leave again. I haven't seen this, everybody. I haven't seen this. Paul says, do you still trust the 49ers? I do indeed, mate. Yeah, for now anyway. We'll have to wait and see. I've sort of said with the 49ers that I've been pretty transparent throughout. And people love to not listen to what you say. It's funny, these sort of narratives and agendas, unfortunately, that people have. And I probably will divide opinions when it comes to my footballing thoughts. But what I will say is with the 49ers, it's never just been a case of me just backing them willy-nilly. As a fan, I've always thought I'll judge them at the end of the window. And I feel every rational fan should do that, because how can you judge a product when you've not seen what the full sort of standard of that product is, after the fact? You've got to give it a trial, haven't you? When you've had that product, when you've got a microwave, you've got to see how it does for X amount of months. That's what I'm trying to do with the 49ers. And I'm judging them at the end of the window, because you can't win on this YouTube game, everybody, because if you judge them right at the start, then you get criticized for judging them right at the start. And the person who's commenting, who is the most rational person on the site or leaves the comments in the live chat or whatever, is always the right person. But then you get another person disagreeing with that person. So you are never right in this position. I've tried to maintain the fact that I see this as very realistic. You guys might not. I see this as my rationale. Daniel Farker's won 2 games in 13. 3 of those games have been this season. 10 of those games have been last season. So the whole Rutter and Somerville discussion, that is relevant for now to an extent, of course, but 10 of which were last season. So you've got to judge him on that. You've got to judge him on that. Some people see it as a success last season. Other people don't. I am probably one of those other people who see, where we were in that position. Okay, fantastic. But we should have gone up, in my opinion, top 2. So we didn't. We are now where we are when we're in the Somerville, Archie, Rutter, Kamara situation, of course. Is that all down to Daniel Farke? Absolutely not. There is a massive amount of this which is down to the 49ers. But if the 49ers pull more rabbits out of the hat they've proven yesterday, if they do that next week and they do that 4 times over, 5 times over, what as a fan, this is why you can't go hell for leather when it's the 49ers right now. You can look at some of the things that they've done in terms of like the certain tweets, the communication with the fans and the journalists. I think that's been really poor. Liam Cooper, what the hell's happened to him? Do we have any sort of discussion on that? You know, some of the petty things I kind of think have been encrypted with these social media posts. A lot of that I don't agree. But when it comes to the players in and the players out, you've just got to see what happens at the end of the window, and then we can make a judgment as a collective. And I know what I'm going to get is, you said this about them. You love the 49ers. It is just not true. I've just given them toward the end of the window. That is it. And we will see at the end. You know, and I just see that as rational. But if we want to go hell for leather and hate on them right now, guys, honestly, people can go ahead and do that. That's absolutely fine. But yeah, let's have a quick look. Sheffield Wednesday have plenty of mistakes in them. Pressure on Windass cost them earlier on this season. Yeah, and I think what we're going to get a lot with Sheffield Wednesday is them pressing high. I think that's what you're going to get with a Danny Roll team. They're going to be pressing high. They're going to be right up for it. We all know that. And listen, Hillsborough will be behind them. They're off the back of a massive loss to Sunderland, and they're going to be right up for it. But we can. You always hear, don't you, that football's not played on paper. It's not. It's definitely not. But a lot of the time it is. And if your quality overrides the opposition's quality, then you're normally in good stead. And we have that right now. I was just watching a neutrals video on Leeds United and Daniel Farke. And once again, this neutral's not a massive fan of Daniel Farke, and was actually saying that if Corberan was in charge of us at the weekend, we'd have gone and battered West Brom if Farke was in charge of West Brom. Now, I'm not wholeheartedly agreeing with that, but it's interesting how the neutrals are picking up on it as well. Now, I also have to put my position in the ring here and say I wouldn't get rid of him. I wouldn't be getting rid of him right now at all. Because a lot of people say, Connor, would you sack him? Would you sack him? Not at all. I want continuity at my club. I want a long-term project. But as a manager, you've got to develop. And as a manager, you kind of need to see some of the negative things change a little bit. And I think Daniel Farke, as a young manager, needs to develop at 100%. I think we all need to develop, don't we? In everything we do. I need to develop at this, as some people definitely would attest to. But overall, I think Daniel Farke is a good coach at this level. He's won it twice. And, I hope that he develops, and I hope that he gets a little bit of a more all-round managerial approach. And I hope things, as I said, I hope things change a little bit when it comes to substitutions, when it comes to certain things he says in press conferences, etc., etc. But the 49ers, on the other hand, I feel like it's him versus them in this conversation. They drastically need to improve as well. But it's boring chat, isn't it, everyone? Let's talk about Sheffield Wednesday. Danny Roll is going to deploy a high press system. This is something that seems to have been a theme with Danny Roll towards the back end of last season. They've come into this season, they've beaten Hull City away, which was a great result, and they've won on the opening day of the season against Plymouth Argyle 4-0, where they had an XG of 5.27, which is really impressive. Now, at Hillsborough, they'll be looking to make this place a fortress. If they're able to do that, they're going to have a massive chance for this top 6. Of course they are. But my whole point of this video is Leeds can take their life away with the quality that we have on the pitch. The manager should be able to utilize the quality that we've got on the pitch. Now, what do we do in terms of personnel? Is Ramazani going to be fit? Well, it's actually quite interesting there, because if Ramazani is fit and he plays a key part tomorrow, we could see Ramazani off the left, we could see Nonto in the middle, we could see Dan James on the right. That is something that we could see. We could see maybe a mixture of Ramazani, Joel Peru, and Willie Nonto. That could happen, and then obviously Matteo Joseph up front, who I'm really excited to see again. And I'm hoping he's going to get off the mark this season. What a brilliant time it would be to get off the mark. What do we need to see in this game? We need to see Leeds being a bit more proactive and engaging higher up the pitch. Daniel Farke, his whole coaching backlog at Norwich when he went to Mönchengladbach and he said what he wanted to play was a high press. Where's the high press? Where's the high press? West Bromwich Albion couldn't handle a high press. We did it about 3 times in the game. Alex Palmer booted it out for a throw-in, and Shemi Ajay and Carl Bartley can't play with the ball out from the back. Neither can Darnell Furlong. He just throws it. So why didn't we deploy that a little bit more often? We didn't, and I thought that would have been really effective against the West Bromwich Albion side, but we were too worried about getting caught out at the back and losing the game. Against Sheffield Wednesday, They press us high, but we've got to press them high as well, because Dominic Iorfa and who else is at the back for them? Dominic Iorfa and Bernard. I can't profess to know that much about Bernard, but Dominic Iorfa in particular, there should be a targeted press there by Matteo Joseph. But what we can't see with Joseph is isolation, of which I think we've seen a lot of this season. Okay. Yes, Conrad says MW content flying out lately. Indeed it is, mate. Indeed it is. Brandon, I'm not sure which went first, to be honest, mate. We must win. Burnley flogged them. We need to show up. Can someone explain why we played 2 CDMs not good enough? And what we'll see there, mate, is the beauty of this is if we're able to get Rothwell maybe at the base of that double pivot, and you've got a balance of Rothwell and Ampadu, the fantastic thing about that is you've got Nonso just ahead of you, and you're hurting them vertically. You're hurting them through the middle, of which they've got Josh Windass in there, Barry Bannon, Dominic Iorfa obviously at the back. But I think you can hurt the spine of that Sheffield Wednesday side, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see what Leeds are able to conjure tomorrow. Ryan says, "Would you be shocked if we lose tomorrow?" Ryan, I would be, mate. Yeah, I'll come on here and I have to say I'll be knocked off tomorrow if we lose, because we don't want that gap to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Of which the whole premise and the idea from the 49ers. Look, it's me saying the 49ers. 49ers didn't want us to have a slow start. They've left it as they've left it in terms of the signings right to the back end of it. The book end of the window, which means a lack of integration within the squad at the beginning of the season, within the preseason stuff, with all these big players that were supposed to be coming in. Look, they've left it to this point. Okay, so they've left it to this point, which means that Leeds side, from a mentality point of view, might be a little bit fractured. Who knows? But I still think there's a good enough side there. I still mention this consistently, and I think Daniel Vargas should be getting this side, even as it is right now in the playoffs, 100%. 100%. I'm not saying top 2, but I'm saying playoffs easily. It's more than good enough to be in there. So yeah, if we do lose tomorrow, it's not on the quality of squad. I mean, you can say players have an off day, 100%, but it'll be on the manager. Of course it will. Of course it'll be on the manager, because Danny Roll doesn't have as good a team as Leeds United. And it'll be tight. I fully expect it to be tight. I do. But Leeds should be winning that game tomorrow with the quality we've got. Dominic says, really like the sound of Sallai guy. Any more news on the midfielder, Jubicic from Cologne or Cologne, as they say out there, mate? No, nothing as of yet, mate. Nothing on Jubicic. It wouldn't surprise me. I wouldn't be as enamored with Jubicic right now. It feels, however, that it's an open goal to go and get. Jubicic, yeah, okay, yeah, I can get on board with it, but I'm not like, proper signing, as everybody said. It feels like we just need that special signing right now. But I'm enjoying Leeds going to the continent. I mentioned it that I can't be a hypocrite right now. Said Elias Sher, Ben Rama, Samu Saiz, Buendia, all these creative players have all come from the continent. I don't mind Leeds looking at a Sallai. I don't mind Leeds looking at a larger Ramazani. I think it's a really good idea to get value for money, which the 49ers were saying at the beginning of the window. But also, I like the brashness. I like I'm good. I'm playing on the European circuit at a good level, and I can come down to this level and bring you back up. When a lot of people who are hammering Ramazani's numbers, go have a look at Jorginho Rutter's numbers when he first joined Leeds United. That's what I'd say. Jakob Moda, yeah, Rune, not a bad shout there, mate. Not a bad shout at all. Brandon says Amps or Gurev, not both. We need a class number 8. I wouldn't disagree with you, mate. And once again, thank you for your donation. I really appreciate that. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see, everybody. But listen, I hope you've enjoyed this. It's just been a little snippet from myself at the end of your working day. There's 2,700 of you here. The support's been unbelievable, everybody. I really appreciate it. You guys have been with me through this whole period of time, of which I'm trying to make this a thing. One Leeds, and it's growing, and it's fantastic. We had 35,000 subscribers the other day, which is a massive milestone for me. It's all love, one community, and I massively appreciate it. And please make sure you slap a like on the video if you're enjoying the content. Are you enjoying the live streams? Do you want me to go back to pre-recorded videos? Let me know in the comment section below. Do you prefer this sort of format? Because I can do this a lot more if you'd prefer that. I've been really heavily focused on the live streams because you guys wanted me to do that. but I can always pull it back a little bit if you want me to do other things. If you want bonus content, if you want written pieces as well, that's all live on the Patreon for a measly £4 a month. Guys, as always, been an absolute pleasure. And I'll see you tomorrow for the watch long and all the excerpts when it comes to Leeds and Sheffield Wednesday. See you in a bit. Cheers.